What thing ruins your sandwich even before you start eating it? Tomato. I hate that it's a standard on sandwiches. They add nothing to a sandwich. Don't get me wrong, I've had good tomato before. There's a restaurant I frequent that has this salad that is smothered in beautifully seasoned grape tomatoes, and I could eat it all day. But on 99 of sandwiches, it's just shitty sliced grocery store tomatoes, and it's fucking disgusting. When I order a sandwich that has tomato, I make sure I make direct eye contact when I say no tomato, and I repeat it. Otherwise people go into autopilot and just pile them on. If I'm eating out anything I didn't order, request it be removed. I can kinda sorta scrape off mustard etc. and cover it up with the taste of other condiments. But if it had pickles on it, that's the one time I absolutely will ask them to remake it. If I made it myself, moldy bread cheese, not just because mold, but because it would be 100 my fault, and I'm disappointed in myself for fucking it up by not noticing. My front teeth at the top and bottom no longer meet when I bite down due to my wisdom teeth overcrowding them. Eat a bunch of napkins because I know I'll bit into my sandwich. Remove the bread on the top and bottom and leave the filling, or was pull the filling out because I haven't cut all the way through it, making a huge mess. Quotes from the mockumentary What We Do in the Shadows. Deacon, I think we drink virgin blood because it sounds cool. Vladislav, I think of it like this. If you are going to eat a sandwich, you would just enjoy it more if you knew no one had fucked it. Come watch VBeeble 3K into Merp. Absorb the excess moisture. Or on regular bread that isn't toasted on subs is fine, and BLTs are fine. But not on your average store bread sandwich, and too much sauce. No one likes a leaky sandwich. Too much filling unless it's a corned beef deli sandwich, in which case I make an exception. Overall, I tend to like sandwiches with less filling, like a French baguette with only ham and butter. Maybe a slice of cheese. One of the best sandwiches I ever had was from a small shop in Siena. It was just a crusty roll with a few thin slices of salami. There were sandwiches at the bar. This is in Italy, and cafes are called bars there, and I asked what was in one that looked interesting. And she said prosciutto crudo yum, provolone yum, and pumpkin. So my answer is pumpkin. Paper ... A pepper jack cheese. I buy her slim pieces of paper between the slices to make it easier to separate them. Imagine my reaction when I tasted paper. Didn't entirely ruin the sandwich though. I removed the paper and continued on eating. Seeing any kind of onions on it, especially raws, they're a migraine trigger for me. Or if I'm at a Subway, seeing the employee handle the raw onions without changing their gloves. I can taste and smell them and it turns my stomach. If it has touched my sister's tuna, it is too dry and the smell is just off, not sure what she is doing. Every guy she dates has all complained about her tuna. I think she uses too much mayonnaise when making a tuna sandwich. Seeing a big-ass piece of lettuce that's holding all the sauce and hanging over the sides, making the sandwich hard to hold. Also knowing it's not gonna rip when I take a bite, but just slide out and take all the sauce with it. If it's too cold, I can't eat a sandwich straight out the fridge. Even if it's a pre-made from the shop, I have to let it rest at room temp for like 40 minutes before I eat it. I hate biting into a cold sandwich. Combination of tomato and mayonnaise, it's one or the other, not both. And beetroot or avocado, and living in Australia, it's hard to find a nice cafe that doesn't have one or the other in it. I ordered Jersey Mike's over the phone once and asked for an Italian sub with hella mayo and mustard, and they didn't put any sauce. I was very hungry that day, and let me tell you, I was so upset. Store-bought bread or plain white mini breads. I don't like the hard tubes of bread like at Jimmy John's. I'm spoiled by making my own or buying specialty breads from a nearby bakery. Mayo and pickle on a burger. Hot pickles are gross. I ordered a Whopper. No mayo, no pickle, and it came with mayo extra pickles. You can't even scrape off the mayo and pickle flavor when you tear the bread by trying to spread the butter, and there's a hole. That's no longer a sandwich, that's a disaster. That either goes in the bin or it's a wet Sloppy tragedy. Learning after 2 years that the special sauce the deli used was someone's special essence clad to say not from experience. I read about in a newspaper report. Australia. When I order a burger and fries and a bunch of the fries are stuck to the cheese, so when you pull them off there is no cheese left on the burger. Good cheese fries though. Someone asking me a stupid fucking question, or just trying to talk to me in general. That and soggy bread. Honorable mention goes out to cucumbers too. Fuck cucumbers. Cucumber, tomato or some other nonsense that makes the whole thing soggy. Also homemade bread that's been made using one of those machines. It's always too dense. If someone takes a bite before me, I can drink liquids if someone has taken a sip from my cup or bottle. But a bite of my food is just unforgivable and ruins it. Sand. I don't know how, but my sandwiches sometimes had sand on them in the playground at primary school. Such fond memories of crunchy peanut butter sandwiches. Off-produce, i.e. lettuce, is that weird shredded old since 7FF that just tastes like sadness. Tomatoes that are squishy, peppers that are soft, disgusting. Pickles, to my taste buds they're not food. Anything touched by pickles ceases to be food. Pickle goes on sandwich. Sandwich goes in trash. Soggy bread. That's disgusting, and it's often preventable. The lettuce and cheese should be against the bread. Not things like tomatoes. Yellow mustard. It could be a prime rib sandwich, but if it has yellow mustard, it's going in the garbage. Preferably a biohazard bin. It's someone leaves the paper or wrapper on the slice of cheese. But then I laugh, fix it and eat it anyway. It's me. I'm the someone. A very well-placed seagull poo bomb from the Newmarket Gastronomic de Weberma, often sighted in Scarborough on hot days in midsummer, when the sandwich artist is near the end of making my sup. Then their Pandora bracelet touches the sup as they reach for the pickles. Moldy bread. I mean, if I can see it, so can whoever made the sandwich. Bread's cheap, throw that loaf out and use a new one. Mayo. Or even just cutting my sandwich with the same mayo-covered knife that you cut your mayo-slathered sandwich with. Mayo with lime is a Mexican thing, and even though it doesn't happen a lot when it comes to sandwiches, cilantro, strong-tasting lettuce. I can't stand the taste of green bitterness hitting my mouth when I first bite into a sandwich. You've made your sandwich. You get back from putting the ingredients away, and there's a fly sitting on it. In the bin. I need to make my sandwiches fresh. I can't do wrapping up a sandwich for later. It just gets soggy and unappetizing. Setting it on the arm of the couch on a plate. PC, I forgot my drink. And coming back to my dog helping himself. Why do they put mayo in every single meal deal type sandwich ever though? Keep that shit away from my nom-noms. Some soggy bread or too much mayonnaise and ton 618 supermassive black hole can ruin a perfectly good sandwich. Too much oil when they do OV. And it's like all over your hands and the sandy is slippery. Happens sometimes. When it was packaged next to a barely wrapped wet-ass pickle that leaks its rancid juice all into the bread. Roasted red peppers. They overwhelm the flavor of the sandwich and are all I can taste if they are present. When everything falls out the second you pick it up. Toothpicks work, but I don't like eating with them in. Wrong temperature. Either the whole thing is cold or hot. Each ingredient needs its own respective temp. When the bread is cut all of the way through and everything falls out from both sides. So sloppy to eat. Finding out the ingredient you want on it is almost out, and you need to go to the store to get more. When the person making it puts the banana peppers with stems on it. We all saw that stem. Stop it. Unevenly distributed ingredients or too many ingredients throwing off the bread ingredient ratio. A pickle, if it's in the sandwich or even on the side and touching it. The juice has ruined it. Cucumber. Tried it many times. Just can't get on board with it. Can't eat anything it's touched. Paying too much for an effing sandwich. They are like $15, $20 now. Over $8 seems like a crime. Toast bread. Make sandwich. Sandwich goes in Tupperware, where it sits for 4 hours or so. Washing the lettuce and not patting the lettuce dry right. Now you have soggy sandwich. If the bun has those dumbass sprinkles on it. I will sit there and pick every single one off. When the cashier is also the sandwich maker and does not change gloves between transactions. If it's been refrigerated after making it, veggies will be limp and bread will be soggy. A pickle on the side getting my sandwich bread wet and rendering the whole thing useless. No lettuce or no chips. I have to have one or the other. Preferably both. I need crunch. Ketchup. Why put that disgusting sauce on any kind of food? It's only good in meatloaf. Mayonnaise. Keep that shit at least 10 feet away from any sandwich I'm going to eat. When people put their dick in my sandwich, I immediately know it's going to disappoint. Onions, the smell and flavor take over everything and the texture is usually bad too. Too much sauce. Any kind of sauce, be it ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, vinegar, etc. My dog sneaking it off the coffee table and eating it while I went to grab a drink. Seeing ants and flies coming out of the pores of the bread. Happens way too often. Lettuce that makes your bread soggy and taste of lettuce even when you remove it. Crunchy things being unexpectedly soft or soft things being unexpectedly crunchy. Mayonnaise. I don't like mayo on anything, well maybe with eggs, but that's it. Onions. Just the texture. And that high-pitched noise when you crunch them ... arg. The sauce is leaking out of the sandwich or topping. Falling out of the sandwich. No cheese. Or all that water that comes before you get to the actual mustard, lol. When somebody starts a conversation right as I am about to take the first bite. Pickles. I like them. But not on sandwiches because the taste is overpowering.